Cliff Notes for December 2023. And this time we're going to discuss covering your year, looking back on your year, reflecting on your year. It's all about what happened the last few months. So some key questions that you might want to look at. What's been the business volume or the church attendance at your organization for this past year? You know, how did you treat the customers? How did you treat employees? How did the employees treat each other? How did they interact with management and with the pastors of your church? So are there any changes that you need to look at, maybe to have a better image, to make you come across better? This is a big one. Is your image genuine, or is it just pure baloney? You know, there are things that indicate whether or not you have trouble in paradise. So you can't be unaware of your organization or your people or how you're interacting with customers or church attendees. So there are anomalies that you can note on an ongoing basis of things that don't seem to be exactly right, and then you can check them out, see what's going on. So if there's an imbalance, you need to correct it as quick as you can. Now, the daily impact, to me, the biggest foundational of a daily impact is consistency. No matter what you're doing, what type of product, business, service, church, nonprofit organization, you have to have consistency in your actions. And these will, of course, impact on what happens down the line. And some priorities you might think about beyond, of course, this year. What is the importance of ongoing interactions? And what I mean by that is sometimes we have people with whom we deal or interact with, and we need to discontinue interacting with them. And then others we need to maintain or improve our interactions with. Assess that. Decide how things are going on a regular, continuous basis. And day-to-day engagement, of course, I realize that's not possible every day, but however often your organization meets and has employees and staff or customers, you need to assess the significance of what's going on. And that's what we're going to talk about next, keys to organizational assessment. There needs to be a clear direction on where you're headed. What is the vision of your organization? I mean, what's the mission that you're on? What are you trying to accomplish? And what are the values that you say you have? Are they coming across to the public? So set SMART goals. If you've read my newsletters, you know what SMART goals are. So you make sure you've got clarity and make sure you have trackability. When you're initiating changes, there has to be a way to track if those changes are effective, whether it's a service or a product, the way you're doing a church service, it doesn't matter. You have to have a track to run on and be able to assess, is it working or is it not? So the way you measure success is to have some KPIs, and these key performance indicators will help you know if you are basically on the track or are you getting sidetracked. We can all relate to that, I think. You have to define and measure the factors, whatever you set up. It's for your organization, you set the factors up. Implement changes and then monitor those changes. Find out, is this working or is it not? So when you're measuring goals, you have to think about the relevance to the objectives of the organization that you work for or that you run. Ensure the KPIs, the key performance indicators, relate to the goals that you're trying to reach. I'm not kidding. It's I've I've read about and seen people that set up indicators that have nothing to do with the objective of the organization. So make sure you make objectives that actually relate to what you're doing and communicate the results to the stakeholders, the employees, the customers, the management team. Make sure you have open lines of communication. So some of the takeaways and strategies for improvement, I think, when you have thought-provoking ideas from your staff or from your church attendees or whatever, consider those. Take them under advisement. See how do they relate to what you're trying to do. And of course, you do want to have continuous improvement. That's normal. And regular organizational assessments. What's working, what's not. I'm repeating myself a lot today because this is critical. You've got a whole year ahead of you. 2024 is coming up fast. You must have things in place, actions in place, ideas in place that you're implementing, and then you've got to measure, does it work or does it not? Here's some tips. Empowering action. So conduct a SWOT analysis. Those of you that have read my newsletter know what SWOT is. Successes, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Threats is not necessarily a bad term. Depends on how you look at it. But things that will derail you, I'll put it that way. So identify them and then seek to improve what you're doing. Some closing thoughts. Let me see what I've put here. Proactive steps. Oh boy, don't be reactive. Try to anticipate things that could come up. Let me use parking, for example, at a business. Is your business high traffic? Then you probably, if it's high vehicle traffic, you probably need adequate parking. And I have gone to places where they have not had adequate parking. They might have 4 parking spaces, and at any one time, they have 10 or 12 cars jumbled all around the parking lot trying to find and jockey for some kind of space so they can go into the business. Bad planning. Bad planning. Always, always adapt to whatever the situation is. So, at last, consider. This presentation has been simply to prompt reflection. I've tried to highlight some daily impact things that will help you, I hope, and give you a framework so you can assess and improve your business. And there is a need for consistent, constant evaluation. So like us, subscribe to this channel. Check out our website, www.patreon.com/astepabove, and become a platinum member. With a platinum member, not only do you get a newsletter every week, you also get a hardback copy that I mail to you for free, and I pay for the postage of every book that I publish during the year. So make a